AI.
Welcome to Talk to the Future, where the future of sales isn't predicted, it's built. Each episode features real conversations with the operators, marketers, and innovators driving what's next. From AI and automation to the strategies that are converting right now. No fluff, just what's working.
This is Mr. Bigley here, live from Las Vegas at LeadsCon. And we have a special guest on today from GeoGrow. We have the CEO of GeoGrow. And anyone who doesn't know what that is, well, let me have you explain it.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Bigley. This is Mr. Smalley over here, also known as James O'Loughlin. So I own an agency, and I have historically done SEO for 25 years.
But SEO is slowly dying.
And I actually say that. I say SEO is dying. And I still believe, so I'm trying to explain GEO. So SEO is going to Google and asking a question and seeing your answer and going to a website. Like who shows up organically at the top, that's SEO. GEO, or generative
And now
engine,
before anything that shows up at the top, you have 3, 4, 5 ads, maybe more.
PPC, yep.
Yeah.
So GEO is generative engine optimization, which means that when somebody goes to ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity Cloud, and asks that same question, like what is the best HVAC company in Houston, whatever it is, then those answers are inside of the LLM, which is all these chatbots. So that's GEO, generative engine optimization. We're trying to figure out how to get your brand, your product, your service inside of the LLM so you can be recommended.
Now,
GEO.
There's less searches for GEO than SEO still. What is the performance like when a search engine, when not the search engine, but one of the LLMs recommends your product?
So it's a great question. You're throwing me softballs, and I'm baby Babe Ruth over here. So what I'm seeing and what is happening is that the conversions are going upstream. Conversions are going into the chatbots. So the difference historically is I went to Google, I either got an ad or I saw some organic results and I went to the page that you created, the landing page, that this stuff would help try to convert me. Now, when I go inside the chatbots, I'm asking all the questions like, who is this best HVAC company? What's the best roofer in Denver? And like, oh, are they pretty good? What are their reviews? So that people are having all these conversations in the chatbot like a trusted friend, that they would historically had to go to best, roofer, Denver, and then look at the reviews, look at their Facebook, get an idea who they are, go to their site, and then make a decision. People are making the decisions right inside of the chatbots. And when they get to your site, they're 20 to 30% more likely to become a customer or client because they've already decided.
I'll do you one better.
Okay.
We're using Claude Code a lot internally. Yeah. So I told my team it's required that you use this. Everyone. So it's not just the engineers. The engineers, a lot of them are probably the most hesitant.
Yeah.
But all of the operations people, they absolutely love it.
Yeah.
The reporting that we're doing, the tools that we're building out. People are building out websites. People are bidding on RFPs. The things we're doing is phenomenal.
It's like you're a wizard of whatever you want to do.
A wizard.
Go, hey, Claude, like do this.
I could show you a 40-page website I built in an hour.
Yeah.
And it's literally 40 pages. I think it's better than our main website. And it did it for us in an hour using some of the content that we put in.
Yeah.
Now,
it's better to an extent. What I still believe is that we're magicians. They're calling it human in the loop or governance. You still need to look at that to make sure it's
100%.
Okay, so I'm with you. I'm tracking.
So I swear to God, there's a point here of where I'm going.
What's
so we're
point?
using a ton. Well, now I'm asking it to do things for me, and it's saying, well, you need to warm up some inboxes to do that. Oh, you want to do that? So, well, first step is we got to set up some of these inboxes to be able to do this. Yeah. The two companies that I would pick for this are Instantly and someone else.
That's
right?
Somebody, yeah.
Well, and then it says, do you want me to go ahead and do it for you? It's like, yes, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's actually picking which companies. Yeah. And it's going and setting up those companies.
Yep.
And it's doing the work. So I think anyone who's not putting a CLI in their product or an MCP right now, you're going to miss the boat.
Yeah.
You're 100% going to miss the boat.
100%.
I've been talking about this with my team for weeks. We've been working on it for, probably the better part of a month now. And then I saw Facebook just came out with it, and I said, "Son of a bitch, we're late." Right?
That's how I felt.
Salesforce just came out, and I said, "We're late.
You feel you're late, but I think you have to find your niche. I think going back to two things. Everybody that I'm talking to here is migrating to Claude. Like, we just see it across the board. And
today, Claude's the flavor of the month right now, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gemini or Grok or someone else is coming out with their version of this that is even better in 2 months.
If I was a gambling man and I'm not, and I'm in Vegas and I haven't spent any money.
We can go to the craps table later.
No, I'm okay. But I would bet on Gemini long term, just because historically they have so much data. They figured out search, and now they'll just need to connect it together. And they already have the infrastructure. I think Claude has some really freaking smart engineers. To your example, my buddy has a band. He wanted a site. He went to Claude. He told it to do the stuff, and it made the cool site. And then I gave him a little bit of like, okay, you should use this tech stack for a mailing list. And then I'm like, okay, you just use SendGrid to send stuff. And then now he has a complete mailing list and stuff. But he's a guy in a band that made a killer site. That he would
have been able to do.
Never would have been able. Talking with Claude. Me personally, I'm like one of the top 0.001% of Cursor users, because I built my platform GeoGrow in Cursor, and I'm just addicted to it.
We just finally dropped Cursor. We were using Cursor, 6 months ago, and everyone switched off.
Yeah, I've been using it for a year. Well, however long I've been using it, and I'm just like, I keep playing with all the other flavors, and
if you want the threat to all the LLMs, the fact that everyone was using Cursor and then the whole team switched to Claude like this, right? Or I was using ChatGPT and then I went to Claude. But if Grok comes out with something that I like better,
the new thing is you can divorce your LLM, which I didn't know up until a month ago. My clients told me, she's like, yeah, we switched to Claude and we divorced ChatGPT. And we took all of our data and you can migrate. Did you know this? I didn't know this.
Yeah.
But you can divorce the stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm not into divorce.
We're actually moving everything to open source. That's my play. Everything's going to be open source that we're doing. We're about 2/3 of the way there, and we're
really
going to complete.
Like legitimately?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just to get more people working on it.
No, like open source, like we're using all open source models for all of
gotcha.
For all of our things instead of.
I thought you meant you're open sourcing your tech, your IP.
And no, but we're definitely going to open it up with the CLI and an MCP.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'd love to figure out where there's some synergy here, because.
I'll tell you where there's some synergy for me. I want to know, how are you doing what you actually do? Let's get to the meat of it. We know that GEO is the future. We know that GEO works. We know that it has a conversion rate far above what you're going to get from Google, and that everything on Google these days is slop anyway, and that someone's paying for it to be there.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't have that trust factor anymore. So how do I make GEO work? How do I get to be the #1 listing when someone goes, hey, I need to set up high volume AI calls?
Yeah. So the end of 2024, I saw the rise of ChatGPT and all these sort of things. And I remember the month of January, I tried to get all my team in, and I'm like, guys and gals, like, something's happening here. Like, are you aware of like what's happening? And even internally, I had slow adoption. I'm just like, no, we have to lock in on this. This is where people are going. And I'm going to do a parallel. I started mining Bitcoin. I created Bitcoin miners in 2011, 2012. And I tried.
You were early.
Oh yeah, I was early. And I bought my house, my cars, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I played the game.
So that's how you funded the business, huh?
Yeah, that's how I funded it through the pandemic, because everything went south. But yeah, so yeah, I funded a lot. Anyhow, where was I going there? I think that this is a paradigm shift that you walk around here, and a lot of people aren't aware but you and I are hyper involved on the internet, apparently, obviously.
Well, I run an AI company.
Yeah,
and
so you know that this shift is happening. I just had, a lot of people haven't thought about, like, how do I get my prompts in there? And that's what I had to figure out. So from an agency perspective, early 2025, I was just like, how does this stuff work? I bought every platform out there, Profound, like all the different platforms to try and figure out. And then I was just disappointed because my client, I had one specific client that asked me, I would say it's like $1 million question for him because he's going to get $1 million clients for it. It's called IBMI AS400 modernization. He wanted to be the top 3 results, and he is an SEO client. And I was just like, how do I get him?
People are still using the IBM AS400.
You know, unique fact about that, almost every Fortune 500 billion-dollar company is running on IBMI AS400s.
Oh, come on. No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. And you know what else is happening? Everybody that was running them are aging out, so they need new people to come in. So the
Fortune 500s have DB2 and UDB.
They do. A lot of them are still on IBMI, IBMZ, like all these older things. There's a lot of people running on it. You would be surprised, with green screens that has some guy named Jerry that knows all the stuff on.
And he's the only one in the entire company.
Exactly.
And he's 67 years old.
And he's aging out, and they need people to modernize it and make it work. And so that's why it's the $1 million prompt. And I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. So I started on that journey, buying all the tools, doing the things, and I was just like, this isn't working. So what I really locked in on with my partner, Michael Lefort, he owned an agency in New York, and we historically have done brand strategy workshops to figure out what your brand's about, what your product and service offers, what the personas are interested, what are their pain points, their jobs to be done, their emotional triggers, all those sort of things. In doing that unlocked, like, what are they going to ask the chatbots? So that was my first goal, is like, what are they going to potentially ask? And then from there,
so you're grabbing the questions on Google. What are the most frequently asked questions? You're going into Ahrefs, SEMrush. You're taking a look at what are the most common queries, things of
so
that
those
sort.
are like keywords and phrases, but not long term. But yeah, in a similar way. What I'm actually doing is based on that. I use AI to create a schema for my products and services, and I create a schema for the personas that all sort of like fit in there. And from there, I can extract what they're potentially asking. I'm like an AI wrapper to that extent. I go to the AIs and say, what could these people potentially be looking for? And then I try to determine what's called high intent prompts. Because initially I realized that the
intent is not all equal depending on what the ask is.
And what I just unlocked last week is that on every one of my prompts, I let the people say how much importance it is and how much revenue it is. Because you still want to be mentioned in a chatbot, but it might not be a revenue. Like, is AI outbound good for my business? And the chatbot might say, oh yeah, it's really good, and this is what happens, and then they cite you. But that's not like a business high intent going to come to your business and sign up. They're just getting general information. So
you figure out what questions people are asking the LLM, and then you go to the websites and you write the answers on the websites in the question and answer section.
So essentially what I realized is SEO is optimizing your site. GEO is optimizing your brand for the internet with a consistency and a messaging that's always on point. So you have to establish, where's the ROI in our business? What are people potentially looking for? And then my search guy, he's like, yeah, we can't ever figure out every question. He continually tells me Google has 10 to 15% new questions every day. I'm like, how can that possibly be? And it's just because there's so much new combinations of whatever happens. So then I focus in on what I call intent clusters. So this group of questions fall into this sort of intent. Like, there's certain pain points, there's certain desires, there's certain benefits that you want in all the questions that are similar. So I group in those intent, and that helps us create the content. So
how do I protect my house after my roof is blown off?
Yeah. So Yeah, so all of this really locks us in on we need a strategy, and we need to begin putting that content into our site, into FAQs, into blogs, and da da da.
All on the site pages, or then on social media as well.
Well,
on Quora,
you know that ChatGPT and Google have given Reddit like $70-80 million a year to be their conduit of data. Why is that? Because we're the humans in the world asking the questions and putting it in Reddit, the structure that answers everything. We saw this with Google, 2 years ago? Quora and Reddit answers were coming to the top. That's because all the AI slop that was coming out there. So part of the plan is making sure that the brand is in Twitter, in LinkedIn, in Quora, in Reddit, in wherever the citations are happening with consistency.
Yeah,
right?
and not just consistent posting, but consistently posting the correct messages to the questions that people are asking.
And being helpful. All you have to do as a brand, and I just told this.
So no shit posting, not just posting.
Well, you can do that.
Funny
you can
memes.
Post cat picture, whatever. You should do that to be just be authentic. I think that's what the internet is lacking. Is like
nothing says authentic like a cat picture.
No, you need cat pictures. Yeah, yeah. So basically, yeah, I made a brand DNA. I figured out what the people would be asking for, and then I come up with a content strategy, and then I need to look at the analytics and see like what's being referred. One thing that I'm finding across all my brands is that what I would call pillar pages historically, like your product service, but blogs are being cited, and all like 80% of all traffic from bots are blogs, and I'm just like, why is this? Well, I'll ask you that question. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. I think you're smart enough. Okay, so the blogs are answering specific answers to questions, and the chatbots want to know everything, and they found that specific answer that Leroy is asking about his roof being blown off in Des Moines, Iowa. Who can help put it back on, right? So if in Des Moines, Iowa, you had a roofer that said, you lost your home in a tornado. We're here to help. Here's what we do. Da 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 da. You're going to be, if you had a blog or service about that, you're going to be recommended.
We actually made a mistake with our blog strategy.
Okay.
That some of the content wasn't strong enough. And although we had a lot of it out there, I think it hurt our rating. It didn't help our
AI to create it?
Of course we used AI. We used AI to do everything.
Sucker. No. No. So I think everything takes governance in this day and age of AI.
Yeah.
Like you can't just.
I think it was the right strategy with poor implementation.
Yeah. So like, we need oversight. We need governance. We need the human in the loop, as people are saying. It's like use the AI like a wizard, but you got to review what it's saying. So you're the teacher, you're the instructor, you're the pilot. Like have it like do the stuff. Use your brain to digest it and ingest it and synthesize it. Make sure it remains relevant.
So if someone wants this done for them, where do they reach you? How do they find you?
On the internet.
On the internet.
No. So we actually offer it in a few different ways. So as an agency and as a doer, I made the platform where you can license it and just do it on your own. I made a growth track that you can follow. And if you follow all these things, and it gets really hard like a video game where you pick 5 high intent prompts that are high value and you begin to be the top 5 scoring position. And I give you a strategy and the way to do that. So you actually
have a game that we could give to my marketing team.
It's a gamification. It's like I tried to take all this and put it in an outline, and I challenge my team to do it with them. So we offer managed services, or we offer that we can do it yourself. It's kind of like, hey, want to apply this UFO that I made? I was like, I don't know how to apply it. Well, I've tried to put in there a path for success for anybody that wants to put in the work. Realistically, this is not easy. I'll tell you that.
Nothing's easy in practice. Nothing's easy.
No,
when you want to do it, everyone thinks, oh, we'll just do a bunch of AI calls.
Yeah.
No, that's super easy.
No, with the LLMs, it's just like Google. They want to provide the users the best answers. And in order to do that, you need to provide your your website, your clients, your blogs, blah, 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 blah.
I get it, and I guarantee you the people in this room get it.
Yep.
And I guarantee you the people who don't know why they're not ranking on the top page of
gotta
Google
put
or
in
the
the
top
work.
page in here, they probably get it too because they know it's not easy.
I got to put in the work. They can do it, or they can hire certified people to do it.
Thank you so much for coming
man.
on. I think what you're doing is really valuable.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
great thing, and you're ahead of the game here.
Thank
But
you.
this is obviously the future.
Yeah, who was talking about AI 2 years ago?
Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
How about 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
No one.
Well, in a crazy, I had an artificial intelligence, what they called it. I had a philosophy, like an honors class in artificial intelligence in the late 90s.
Yeah, they
at my
told you it was never
university.
going to work.
And well, the thing that I realized, I was like, this is only going to be as good as the person programming it, and that's where we are now. You driving the AI is only going to be as good as you do it. So they say garbage in, garbage out,
It's everything. Garbage
Intelligence
in,
in.
garbage out.
intelligence in, intelligence out, and then you have to have the ability to synthesize that and make something worthwhile.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to Talk to the Future, where the future of sales isn't predicted, it's built. If you got value from this episode, make sure to subscribe, share it with your team, and stay connected for more conversations with the people driving what's next. Because what's working tomorrow is already being built today.